Well, I was thinking of a gentle head to toe session. Well, we'll get started in standing mountain pose whenever you're ready. We'll get our feet firmly planted under our hips, our shoulders stacked on top. And we'll take a few deep breaths in through the nose, and we'll sigh it out through the mouth. Noticing the breath start to slow. The muscles in our faces and shoulders start to soften. As we connect with the physical sensations of our body, bringing our presence to this moment. Letting our breath assume its natural rhythm in and out through the nose. Noticing the rib cage expand laterally. And perhaps just running through a quick body scan to get a sense of the mood and the energy of our body. Taking a moment to set an intention or a mantra for today's practice as suits. We come back to the space around us, the smells, the sounds, and the temperature. We'll slowly lower our chin to our chest, and we'll roll our head left to right, slowly gaining range of motion as tension starts to dissipate. Being curious about the sensations, where we might be holding tension, or perhaps celebrating lightness and fluidity. And then we'll bring our ear to one side, elongating through the neck. Perhaps we lift our arm out to create a little bit more space between the ear and the fingertips. Moving our head around, exploring areas of tightness, breathing into them and letting them go. Noticing that the other shoulder isn't rising up to the other ear. Working to maintain our calm, steady rhythm of breath. Noticing when it becomes labored and perhaps easing out of the pose. We're here to create calm, not create stress. And we'll roll over to the other side, bringing the opposite ear to the other shoulder. And again, we can float our arm up. Moving our head around, moving our arm around, exploring and connecting with the sensations. Noticing our rhythm of breath. And the space we're creating. Releasing our arm and releasing our chin back to our chest, and we'll roll left to right again. Perhaps noticing different sensations or fluidity. And we come to center, chin to chest. We roll our shoulders up while we lift our head. We roll our shoulders up and back, up and back. And we'll switch directions, bringing our shoulders forward. Good. Resetting in the center. And we'll move our arms. Palms facing forward, bending our knees slightly. We'll draw the arms back and around to the front. Rotating the palms open. Inhaling back. Rounding forward. Drawing the shoulder blades into the spine. Opening through our chest, creating space for our light to shine. Two more. And then we'll switch directions. Perhaps we lead with the pinky finger. Back of the hands together, inhale, reaching up. Two more. And we reset in the center, rolling our shoulders up and back. And we'll interlace our fingertips behind us, straightening the arms, knuckles to the earth, and we lift our arms, getting down into the arms, down into the wrists. Softness in our faces and our jaws. Lifting the hands as tension releases down the front of the arms. Three, two, and one. Releasing out of that, rolling the wrists, making fists, forward and back, forward and back. Good. And we'll open our arms up on the inhale. And on the exhale, we'll give ourselves a big hug, rounding the spine forward, chin to chest, opening, inhale, crossing the opposite arm over top, big hug, arching, and rounding, standing cat-cow, keeping our knees bent as needed, finding our fluid movement with the breath. 2 more. Good. We open up. Deep breath in between, sighing it out. Good. Lifting our arms up. And we'll inhale, reaching, arching the lower back. Exhale, hands are alongside the ears. Inhale, arching. Exhale, rounding. Hollow holds here. Inhale, arching. Exhale, rounding. Tucking the tailbone underneath us. Opening the abdomen. And then drawing the navel through. Two more. Last one. Keeping the arms up, inhaling, reaching, grabbing onto our left wrist. We elongate, we come into a side bend. Keeping our length, keeping our glutes tucked underneath. Hips are facing forward. We have the option to lift our right heel off the ground, pushing a little bit more into the left side of the body. Calm, steady rhythm of breath. Big reaches. 3, 2, and 1. We'll start to exhale, rounding forward, planting our right heel. Big breath in, and we round forward on the exhalation. Big breath in, round forward. All the way into our forward fold, letting our arms hang heavy. Option here to sway, option to find stillness, to grab the inside of our elbows, whatever feels comfortable as we continue to work into the spine and the lower back, warming our entire body. Good. We'll slowly roll ourselves up, stacking the vertebrae, shoulders and head. Rolling the shoulders up. And we side out. Inhale, reaching our arms over our shoulders. Grabbing onto the opposite wrist, finding that length coming into a side bend, opposite side. And again, the option to lift that heel off the ground, to push a little bit more into the side body, if we can maintain calm, steady rhythm of breath. Three, 2, and 1. Planting that heel, deep breaths in, and we roll forward on the exhalation. Noticing what's happening in the back, the lower back. Coming into our forward fold, and again, either hanging heavy, finding stillness, or taking the opportunity to sway left to right. Whatever the body is craving, we do that. And we'll slowly roll ourselves up, gently stacking the vertebrae, shoulders and head rolling up. Deep breath in. We sigh it out. We'll open our feet a little bit wider, floating through our squat. Inhaling, reaching our palms up together. Exhale, we slowly lower down. Inhale, forward fold. Exhale, we roll up gently, stacking the vertebrae, shoulders and head, and we continue with the rhythm of our breath. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, we sink through. Inhale, forward fold. Exhale, rolling up. Pausing along the way as feels good. Feeling all the yummy sensations as we go. Creating fluidity. And releasing energy. Two more. And we'll hang out in our forward fold, widening our feet. Feet are parallel. We press into the back of the legs, letting our heads hang heavy. Bringing our fingertips to the earth. And we'll inhale, squatting. Exhale, straightening the legs. Inhale, we squat. Drawing the chest forward. Exhale, we hang heavy. Continuing this motion. Feeling the inner thighs, feeling the back of the legs. Activating our parasympathetic nervous system with our breath. In and out through the nose. Maintaining our calm inner balance. 3. 2 more. 1 more. And we hang our heads heavy. We reach our right hand above our back. Left hand comes under our beautiful face, reaching up, connecting ourselves to the universe, between our soul purpose and our destiny, opening ourselves up to the energy, rooting ourselves through the earth, and reaching for the skies. Calm, steady rhythm of breath. Perhaps we're feeling an opening of the left inner thigh, perhaps the left hamstring. Gentle spinal twist, continuing to release energy. Good. We bring our right hand to the earth. We lift our left arm over our back, reaching high. Finding that connection. Perhaps we're even visualizing ourselves connected to the universe. Perhaps we see a color. Perhaps we see pixels, clouds, or sunshine. Creating space around and through us for mental clarity and a sense of calm throughout. Good, releasing our left hand back to the earth. We hang our heads heavy. And inhaling, we lift our torso. We're going to shift our weight left to right. Perhaps we shift our hips. Perhaps we get our torso shifting. Whatever feels good, just listening to the body, letting ourselves flow, creating that fluidity. And we'll come over to one side, staying high. Or we come all the way down, lifting our toes off the earth, Skandasana here. Whatever our body needs. We can come into an arm bind. We can come into a strong warrior pose. Whatever we desire. Breathing space into the inner thighs. Creating stability, perhaps an opening across the chest, depending on how we hold our arms. Calm, steady rhythm of breath. Finding our happy place in this moment. And we release the hands to the earth. We push ourselves up and over to the other side, whatever it looks like on this side, honoring the state of our body. Again, we choose how to hold ourselves perhaps differently on this side, honoring the state of our body. And releasing out of this, we come back to center, pushing ourselves up, hanging our heads heavy between our legs. Perhaps we bounce if that feels good. And we can bring our hands over to one leg, perhaps to the shin, the ankle, or the foot. Drawing our torso over that one side, breathing into the back of the leg, letting our heads hang heavy. Good. Inhale, we lift our torso, we walk over to the other side. Again, letting our hands connect where they will naturally, not forcing ourselves into a pose. fitting the pose to our body. Yum. Coming back to center. We're going to bend our knees. We're going to come onto the mat. Bending our knees underneath us. Toes pose, curling the toes underneath our shins, grabbing a sip of water as desired on the way. Making sure all 5 toes connect to the mat underneath. Lifting our shoulders on top of our hips. Good. And crossing our left arm underneath the right, eagling the arms, bringing the palms as closely together as possible. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, lowering. Inhaling up. Exhaling down. Breathing into the fronts of the arms, the neck, the upper back and shoulders. And noticing a gentle expression on our faces. Two more. And we release, releasing the arms, releasing the toes, coming into all fours, tapping out the toes as feels good. Maybe we rinse out the wrists, the ankles, rolling, pointing, flexing. And we'll do this one more time, bringing the right arm under the left. Getting those toes underneath, shifting our arms, palms together as close as possible. Inhaling up, exhaling down. Perhaps we're noticing different sensations in this side of the body, honoring that, being curious about it. Filling our upper back with our inhalation, helping to massage all the tissues, nurturing and nourishing. Three more. Listening to what our feet have to say. Last one. And coming out of that, releasing the arms, releasing the toes, tapping out the feet. And we'll slowly move our way into all fours. Taking the time our feet need to calm them down. And we'll slowly shift our weight left to right, getting into the lower back and the glutes. Letting our head hang heavy, swaying. And staying on one side, gazing back towards our feet, pushing into the earth. Feeling the stretch all the way down the side of the body, from the neck into the shoulder, down through the hip, and across the lower back. Breathing into it, breathing into any patterns of energy, and releasing where we can. And slowly transitioning to the other side. Pushing away the earth, lifting into our shoulder blades, looking back towards our feet. And again, breathing into the side body from the neck, down into the hip. And we come back to center. We'll slowly roll through some cat-cows, bending the elbows, pressing the earth away. Bending the elbows and rounding. Finding a flow here that suits us. Perhaps we shift our hips back to our heels. Perhaps we roll forward and back. Or perhaps we stay traditional, starting with our tailbone. Rolling as our body craves. Breaking up patterns of energy. And creating that fluidity. Pressing into the shoulder blades. One more sequence, whatever that looks like for us. Enjoying the pauses along the way. We come back to neutral. And we step up into down dog, curling our toes under our shins. Deep breaths in. And we lift our hips. Pressing our legs back, pressing the knees back, the heels into the earth, shifting, pedaling, or finding stillness as desired. Calm, steady rhythm of breath. Feeling the grounding of our fingers and our knuckles into the mat. Our head is hanging heavy. We can move it freely left to right. Moving our left foot into the center a little bit. Perhaps even feeling how that changes the sensations down the back of the leg. We'll lift our right leg off the earth. Bending the knee, opening the hips, pushing our weight through the left leg and heel. Creating space down the right side of the body. Perhaps we gaze underneath our left arm, looking up at the foot that's floating. When we come back to center, we're going to bring our knee all the way through our hands and bring our right knee to our right wrist, floating our way back, pigeon prep here, elongating through the torso. With each exhalation, we can slowly melt over our right leg, keeping our hips square, using a block as support, bringing our hands, our forearms, or our fists the earth as we slowly melt into the right hip, hip flexor, hamstring and knee. Noticing the sensations as we go, being curious. And as desired, we can extend our right arm forward. We can draw our left arm underneath, threading the needle, adding a little bit of depth to the pose, bringing our left ear to the mat, listening to our right leg, and working to release tension as possible. Noticing our calm, steady rhythm of breath. Perhaps noticing when we get distracted. Noting what the distraction is and gently bringing our awareness back to the body, the breath, the physical sensations. To bring our awareness back to this present moment. Good, and we'll slowly bring ourselves back to center, walking ourselves up and over onto the right hip. We come back into all fours and lifting ourselves back into down dog, rinsing out what we've just done on the right side. Deep breaths in. Exhaling, we lift our hips. So that'll feel yummy on the back of the right knee. Perhaps we shift our weight, or we pedal our knees and our heels. And bringing ourselves back to stillness, we move our right foot into the center. We hang out here for a couple of breaths. And then we lift our left leg high into the sky, pressing our weight through the right leg and heel. Bending at the knee, opening the hips as desired. Calm strength. Good, we come back to center. We bring that left knee all the way through to the left wrist, walking our hands out as needed, drawing the back foot to elongate through the chest and spine. Inhaling, lifting up. Exhale, we slowly hinge forward, melting over our left leg. Coming onto our hands, our forearms, our fists. And of course, we can extend our left arm long, threading the needle with the right arm underneath, and the ear comes to the earth. Listening to our lower back, our hip, our quadricep, and our hamstring. Breathing space into any areas of discomfort. Melting into the pose. Letting those distractions float through like clouds on a blue sky afternoon. Good. Coming back to center. Lifting the torso up. And we come over onto that left hip. Back into all fours. Slowly transitioning. We'll come into a down dog. Curling the toes underneath our shins. Inhaling. Exhale. We lift and push the legs back. Feeling good on the back of the left knee. Noticing the different sensations in both legs. Shifting, pedaling, or finding stillness as desired. Good. We'll come all the way down into child's pose, bringing our knees underneath us, walking our hands out, sinking our hips back, opening our knees wider with our toes together if that feels comfortable on the lower back and into the hips. Bringing our fists underneath our forehead or our forehead to the earth. Lifting our elbows and our faces off the earth. We walk our hands out a little farther, activating our child's pose, feeling the energy all the way through our arms into the upper back. And we walk our hands to the left, placing the right hand on top of the left, melting here, feeling a stretch through the side of the body again into the lower back. Feeling our arms activated. And we'll do the same on the other side, walking through center. Right hand plants, left hand comes on top. Two more breaths. And we come back to center. We walk our hands in, stacking the vertebrae, shoulders, and head. We come into easy seated pose. Right foot behind the left. Ankles in front of one another. We'll come into a side bend here, bringing both hands to the edges. Up on the fingertips, elongating the spine. Left arm floats up over our shoulder, and we walk our right hand out, keeping our hip firmly planted to the earth, feeling our sit bones, lowering ourselves down as possible, reaching our left arm up over our ear, actively pressing that left knee away. Calm, steady rhythm of breath. And on the exhale, we're going to round forward, bringing our elbow towards our right knee. Inhale, we open. Exhale, we round forward, closing. Inhale, open. Exhale, we close. 3 more. Two. Noticing our back muscles activate. Inhaling, opening. Exhale, we close. And last time, holding at the top, reaching our arm long. Perhaps noticing a slight release of tension. And we close, rounding the left elbow over the right thigh. And we walk our hands to the front. And walking them all the way out, forward fold, melting into the pose. Rounding into the spine, letting that spine release energy. Nourishing the lower back, letting it melt. Not having to support our entire upper body. Lifting our gaze, walking our hands back in. We'll extend our legs out forward, giving them a little wiggle. Oh, yum. Wiggling the feet, pointing, flexing, wiggling out the knees. And then we bring our left foot behind the right. Again, with our ankles stacked in front of one another. Bringing our shoulders on top of our hips, our hands out. Up on our fingertips, we lift our right arm over our shoulder. We walk our left hand out. We support, keeping our sit bones firmly connected to the mat, reaching our right arm up and over our ear. If we can lower down to our left forearm, we do so. Maintaining calm, steady rhythm of breath. And creating space down the side of the body. Actively pushing the right knee towards the earth. And we deep breath in here. And right arm closes to left thigh. Inhale, we open. Exhale, we close. Activating our back. Continuing to release energy in the spine. Two more. Opening on the inhalation, we hold. Once again, reaching our arm all the way over our ear. Perhaps we can sink a little bit lower. Noticing a release of tension. And we close, bringing our right elbow towards the left thigh. Feeling the stretch through the neck, through the arm, down the side of the body, into the hip, the lower back, perhaps even through the hip flexor and into the knee. Making the pose what we need it to be. And then we'll walk our hands to the front once again, walking them all the way out and releasing the lower back, allowing it to rest, to recover. Supporting our heads with our fists if that feels better. Just providing the support our body needs at every point in our practice. Building our tools here on the mat for everyday challenges. And on the next inhale, we'll push ourselves up. Extending our legs in front of us, giving them another little wiggle. Rinsing out the knees, the feet, rolling, pointing, flexing. And keeping those legs out in front of us, we'll reach our arms up, inhaling. Finding our length, toes pointed up to the sky, we forward, fold arms, reaching forward, parallel to the floor. And we can come into a dynamic pulse or a passive stretch, allowing our arms to lower to the ground, chin to chest. Calm, steady rhythm of breath. Or, of course, using our toes as leverage to draw ourselves a little bit closer to our legs. Again, fitting the pose to our body. Feeling the release of tension and the length we're creating in the back of the body. Lifting our head and our gaze. And we release out of that. Slowly bringing ourselves down with our legs to 90 degrees. We shift our hips down and we slowly bring our vertebrae onto the mat. Shoulder blades and head, allowing the lower back to assume its natural curve. We can walk our feet to the outer edges and let the knees fall inwards. Feeling the contact our body makes on the earth below. And if so desired, we can windshield wiper our legs left to right, holding, pausing, or finding a windshield wiper movement. Feeling the softness of our faces, our neck and shoulders. Bringing our knees back to center. We hug them in one at a time, narrow or wide. Option to rock side to side, giving ourselves a little massage along the lower back. And we'll come into a spinal twist, either figure four-ing or eagling the legs, or a different twist that might suit you better. Perhaps we bring our left foot to the outer edge, we cross our right leg over and lower the knees to the right. Or another twist that might suit you better today. Finding a placement for our hands or our arms on our hips, in a T or above our head, listening to the side of the body and the lower back. Breathing awareness into any areas of discomfort, noticing how they may transform, celebrating those transformations as we realize we're not stuck. We are always in transition. Beautiful. Releasing out of that. We can hug our legs in between sides. Taking a moment to nourish and to nurture our bodies. Making our way into a twist on the other side. Whatever we do on one side, we do on the other. And again, bringing awareness to areas of discomfort, watching them transform. Calm, steady rhythm of breath. Noticing the physical sensations from head to toe. Areas of lightness, of comfort, and areas of stickiness and possible discomfort. Untwisting out of this, gently bringing our knees into our chest for a last hug. Any micro movements that might feel good. Taking the time we need to imprint our practice on our bodies and mind. Coming into Shavasana, or if we're ready, we can roll over and up, bringing our awareness back to the space around us. Taking a moment to give thanks to our bodies. Congratulating ourselves for getting to the mat today, for creating time to nourish our bodies. To take the time to reset and refocus for the hours and days ahead. Perhaps we take a moment to set a new intention. Having processed energy and emotions through this last hour, perhaps we're feeling a little more stable, grounded, or clear-headed. Whatever that brings to us today, I wish you peace and joy and a beautiful continuation. Thank you for joining me today. Namaste.